Have you ever wondered what would actually happen to your body if the force of gravity suddenly doubled? Gravity is the invisible designer of our reality. Everything around us, from the shape of a bird's wing to the thickness of a tree trunk, has been perfectly sculpted over millions of years by a constant downward pull of 9.8 meters per second squared, 1g. Every biological and engineered system operates within a highly specific mathematical balance. Upward structural force perfectly matches the downward gravitational pull. But imagine the Earth's density abruptly doubles. In an instant, surface gravity spikes to 2Gs. The mathematics translate into immediate physical trauma. If you weigh 180 pounds, you now instantly carry 360 pounds. Just standing up becomes an exhausting, near impossible feat of strength. Our infrastructure and our biology are optimized for a specific ratio of weight to strength, and at 2Gs, that ratio fails everywhere at once. The struggle to stand is just the beginning. The real crisis is microscopic, happening deep inside your own body. Your heart is a muscle calibrated for 1G. At 2Gs, it simply lacks the mechanical strength to push heavy blood vertically. Instead of circulating, your blood stalls, pooling heavily in your legs and lower abdomen. Without that upward pressure, oxygen-rich blood drains rapidly from your head. This triggers G-LOC, or G-induced loss of consciousness. You black out, not from a physical impact, but from a fatal drop in blood pressure to the brain. We know exactly how this mechanism fails, because humans occasionally push past 1G. Fighter pilots in aircraft like the Sukhoi Su-27 can pull up to 9Gs during intense aerial maneuvers, but they only survive these temporary spikes using specialized hardware. Anti-G suits tightly compress the pilot's legs and abdomen, artificially forcing blood back into the upper body and keeping the brain awake. To even test these extremes, researchers place subjects in massive centrifuges, often using supine, or reclined, seating to prevent blood from pooling vertically in the first place. Technology allows a highly trained pilot to cheat gravity for a few fleeting seconds. A sustained 2G constant, however, simply crushes the human machine from the inside out. The human body fails quickly, but the engineered world around us follows just seconds later. Buildings and bridges are constructed with specific safety margins, known as static load tolerances. At 2Gs, the physical weight of every steel beam and concrete slab instantly doubles, entirely exceeding those margins and snapping critical structural supports. Beneath the streets, the disaster is even worse. Utility tunnels and subway systems cave in under the massive new weight of the soil above, opening colossal sinkholes that swallow entire city blocks. In the sky, commercial aviation experiences immediate failure. Airplanes suddenly lack the aerodynamic lift required to support their doubled weight, causing them to plummet. Back on the ground, transportation grinds to a halt. The power-to-weight ratio of an average car is slashed in half, rendering most engines incapable of moving the vehicle forward efficiently. The concrete and steel infrastructure we built to conquer the world instantly becomes the debris that buries it. Out in the wilderness, nature's own architecture suffers the exact same fate. Ancient, towering trees snap under the sheer mass of their own branches. Even if they remain standing, their vascular systems are completely incapable of pumping water dozens of feet straight up against the new gravity. Global food supplies are wiped out in an instant. Vital crops like wheat and rice lack the structural rigidity to stand under their own weight, flattening against the soil and dying off. Above the flattening crops, the atmosphere itself physically compresses under the doubled gravitational pull, instantly spiking the air pressure at sea level. This sudden, violent compression of the atmosphere drives intense heating and radical shifts in weather, generating brutal, unrelenting windstorms. In a single afternoon, the global food chain and the delicate balance of the entire biosphere are erased. What remains is a heavier, vastly more hostile planet, where the disaster extends deep into the Earth's crust. Subjected to twice its own gravitational pull, the entire planet begins to physically compress and settle inward. This massive geological settling triggers a deadly cascade of tectonic upheavals. Fault lines tear open, unleashing severe earthquakes and pushing magma to the surface in a wave of volcanic eruptions. For any life that manages to survive the initial shock, the long-term outlook is grim.
Research on rats placed in hypergravity centrifuges shows that living in high-G environments requires a massive increase in basal metabolism, dramatically accelerating the biological aging process. Surviving a sudden doubling of gravity merely guarantees an existence in a state of rapid decay, trapped on a volatile, shrinking world. Gravity is the silent, invisible force we take for granted every single day. We don't notice it precisely because our bodies, our towering cities, and our fragile ecosystems are perfect reflections of its specific mathematical balance. If that baseline doubled, the structures that define our existence would collapse into the very ground that supports them.